Yeah, good morning, students. Today we would like to discuss about the micro-programmed control. So, in the earlier classroom discussion topic, we had a discussion on what we are calling it as the. So, we had a discussion previously on this control signals as well as this hardwired control. So, now today we would like to discuss regarding this micro-programmed control. So today's lecture objectives are this session will develop the students' knowledge on microprogrammed control. So the control signals are generated for each execution step based on the instructions in the IR register. Okay. So earlier we have seen that. So in hardwired control, these signals are generated by a circuit that interprets the contents of IR as well as the timing signals derived from a step counter. Based on that, we had a electronic circuit which is going to generate the signals. That is what we are named it as hardwired control. So instead of employing such a electronic circuit for generating of these control signals using hardwired, so it is possible to use a software approach also, a software program in which the desired setting of the control signals in each step is determined by a program stored in a special memory. That program which is stored in a special memory is generally called it as the program microprogram memory or the control store. So the microprogram is stored on the processor chip in a small and fast memory. This is what microprogram memory we are calling it as. So suppose that n control signals are needed in our processor. Then let each control signal be represented by a bit in an n word register. For example, this is a n bit register we are taking that, so that in every position every bit is taken it as one control signal. Okay, so based on that which we refer to a, this is call it as a n word control word we are calling it as, or a micro instruction we are calling it as. Okay, so each bit in that word specifies the setting of the corresponding signal for a particular step in the instruction execution flow. So one control word is stored in the microprogram memory for each step in the execution of an instruction. So for example, the action of reading an instruction or a data operand from memory requires use of mem underscore read and WMFC signals. So these signals are asserted by setting the corresponding bits in the control word to 1 for step 1, 3 and 5 in instruction execution. Right? So what is meant by a microprogrammed control? This is what the reflection point. Students, please try to answer this question. So the microprogrammed control unit organization, if you see that, so we have the micro instruction address generator will be there. Micro instruction address generator will be there. So whatever the address it is generating, that will be placed in a micro PC register. And for this micro address generator, the input we are giving from IR register. So based on that, the micro instruction address generator is going to generate an address of micro instruction, and that address is going to be stored in micro PC, and then that will be given as an input for this control store, and based on that input received from micro PC, now the control store will generate the corresponding control signals. So that is done through a program which we are calling it as a micro program. So in this microprogram control unit consisting of micro instruction address generator, so which generate the address to be used for reading micro instructions from the control store. Control store is nothing but it is a memory. Okay, so the address generator uses a microprogram counter mu PC to keep track of control store addresses when reading micro instructions from successive locations. So during step 2 in instruction execution, the micro instruction address generator decodes the instruction in IR to obtain the starting address of the corresponding micro routine and loads that address into the micro PC. As execution proceeds, the micro instruction address generator increments this micro PC to read micro instructions from successive locations in the control store. So one bit in the micro instruction, which will be called as end, is used to mark the last micro instruction in a given micro routine. So when end is equal to 1, the address generator returns to the micro instruction corresponding to step 1, which causes a new machine instruction to be fetched. So microprogrammed control can be viewed as having a control processor within the main processor. So micro instructions are fetched and executed similar to a machine instructions. Similar to a machine instructions. So their function is to direct the action of the main processor's hardware components by indicating which control signals need to be activated during each execution step of the instruction. So the microprogrammed control is simple to implement and provides considerable flexibility in controlling the execution of machine instructions, but it is slower than hardwired control. Fine. So now coming to this lecture level problem for today's topic is analyze the features of microprogrammed control. Okay. So this is what about this today's lecture level practice problem. So now the lecture outcomes are follows like this. So after completion of this session, students will be able to analyze the differences between hardwired control and microprogrammed control. Okay. So thank you students. Thank you one and all.